right. Is there like a topic you guys want to talk about to warm up before we get into the public betas?
Did anyone see Fantastic Four?
I have not yet.
I have not. I
didn't either. This is like the first Marvel movie I haven't seen
at
opening weekend
day.
since I don't even know when. My son had baseball all weekend and we just couldn't get there.
I saw Superman and I thought about Fantastic Four was going to play 30 minutes later, and I thought about sneaking into the theater to go watch it. And I was like, I don't know if I want to sit through another 2.5 hours.
Also, it would have been a full theater, so you can't really sneak in. Somebody's got those seats.
That's true. You know? They are reserved seats. Well, yeah, it was. I could have checked to see what seats were available on the
Go sit there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. Like I used to sneak into movies all the time with my dad when I was like 8, and like I never thought anything of it. Like,
yeah,
it's a double feature day. Like I never realized he was actually like it's not stealing. It's kind of stealing.
It is.
You know, I mean, the movie's playing anyway, and the seat's empty regardless. But still, you're not paying for it. But I never really thought about it. But yeah, we did that. Like literally every time we went to the movie, we would see 2.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see Fantastic Four, and we're probably going to go in the next week or two. But I'm actually looking forward to Naked Gun much more.
It looks good. I don't know if I want to see it in the theater. Because it's like $20 or $18 or something. Like I don't know if it's worth that, but it does look pretty funny.
We're dying to, because look, it's been so long since there's been a real like comedy, not a superhero movie that's funny like Deadpool or whatever, but just like a comedy that looks good. And it's so fun to see those in a theater where like the whole theater full of people's laughing and stuff.
Sure.
So we're gonna try and get a group of friends together and buy tickets like a couple of weeks from now. And
all right, should we do this?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
right, here we go.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, here we go.
Betas and more betas.
Yeah.
Betas and more betas. All the betas.
Welcome to the Macro Podcast. I'm Roman Loyola here with Jason Cross.
Good morning.
And Michael Simon.
Hello, sir.
So today's show, it's all about the public betas of the version 26 operating systems. The macOS, his recent column, he calls them XOS 26. Because last week I talked about how calling them the 26 OSs
26s,
seems ambiguous to me. So the macOS calls them XOS, the X being the variable, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Mac TV. Does it not work for anything? Does it? Everything is something OS, Vision OS, tvOS, Home OS, whatever.
It's like HomePod firmware, but no one talks about HomePod anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So we're going to cover what to expect, why you should or shouldn't use them, and we're going to talk about our favorite features because we've been spending some time with the public betas. But before we dive on into all that, should we get into some of the logistics like where to download it, and things like that? So it's public beta, so anybody can download them now. You can find them if you go into software update in your system settings. And there's you'll find the beta. I'm not going to give you exact step-by-step, but go into system settings and software update, and you'll find the beta setting.
Right. So, like, you don't even have to really register your device anymore because it's just there.
No.
Like, you just turn them on and off.
You have to register your account.
Your account.
So you go to beta, you go to beta.apple.com and you sign up for the beta, but you don't have to do the whole thing where you do that on the device that you're downloading on and download a profile and all that. None of that happens. It's just attached to your Apple ID. So you just sign in with you go to beta.apple.com and say, beta, and sign in with your Apple ID. And then it'll just light it up on all your devices in software. You'll have the little drop down.
It used to be, somewhat tricky and a little scary if you didn't know what you were doing, because it would like dialogues would pop up and you sure you want to do this, you click OK, then it would restart. Like now it's just like, you turn it on, you click the one you want, and there you go. Yeah, it just restarts.
Yeah. And then once you're enrolled, so like us, we signed up for beta so many years ago, it's just there. Like every year when the betas come out, it shows up. Like I don't even know if what you do to can you unenroll so they just don't show up? Like I don't even know if you can do that.
You could turn them off. I don't think you can unenroll your account anymore. Maybe you can,
right?
But you can just you can just keep them
account not get betas.
It's either on or off. So if you turn them off, you just won't be bothered by them.
Yeah. As far as what devices are compatible, I probably shouldn't bring that up because I can't remember off the top of my head. I think on the Mac, you need to have an M series.
No, there's a couple
device,
of Intel,
and there's like a couple. Yeah, there's like a couple of older or more current Intel processors.
Yes. Yeah.
So that can run it. Not a lot. So if you bought that Intel Mac quite recently, like it was the last Intel Mac that was released, you could probably run the public beta.
It's the MacBook Pro, the 16-inch MacBook Pro from 2019 that came out. Like that was like a new model at the time with an Intel chip, and it had the new keyboard and stuff like that. The 13-inch MacBook Pro. Oh no, that's an M. Maybe there was one earlier in the year. I think there was like the last Intel model with the touch bar that was in like March or something. So if you bought that, and iMac from 2020, also like right before Apple Silicon, there was like a refresh of the 27-inch iMac. That one, Mac Mini, same thing. They came out with, I think, more storage in 2020, and the Mac Pro from 2019, which I mean, I would hope that it can run it because that thing has a pretty powerful processor, and that's it. Everything else is Apple Silicon. Is the common
denominator there that I can't remember what they called those chips before Apple Silicon. Apple had like a chip in there that was a security and memory controller chip.
Yeah, the T2.
The T2, yeah. They had T1 and then they had T2. Is that the line? Everything with the T2 and later?
I think it is. Like T1's no longer on that list, I believe. So
yeah, I think all the Intel processor things that have the T1 are
out.
Yeah. So there's only one model from 2019, and everything else is 2020. Or two. The Mac Pro is technically 2019 too.
It's a lot easier on the other devices. So it's sort of iPhone 11 and later. It took an extra day or two for them to get the iPhone 11 version out. And then same thing with that. iPad's confusing because some iPads have years and some have numbers and some have
some have chips, some have generations. But,
and so
the only one that could run iPad OS 18 and can't run iPad OS 26 is, I believe, the 7th generation iPad. I think everything else is okay.
Which
was one of the touch bar 2020, 2019, something like that.
Yeah, with one of the Touch ID ones from
with the home button. It's like one of the last ones of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We have those compatibility lists on our website if you want to check out for sure if your specific model is
listen, if
compatible.
if you're wondering if it's compatible, don't put the beta on it, basically.
That's true.
That's
that's a good segue. Who should install these betas?
Well, mentioned, I think it's available for everything except for Vision Pro. So if you have a Vision Pro, there will be no public beta. They just do developer betas. Watch and tvOS and all that other. There's public betas for all.
AirPods too now. Yeah.
Yeah, AirPods. You'll get when your AirPods are connected to your iPhone, and you'll see the AirPods in settings, like up top. You'll see the menu will pop up that's not normally there for your AirPods. If you go in there, it will tell you can flip a switch to get the beta firmware updates if you want. And then there's no way to force it to happen. Just keep your AirPods plugged in and near your phone and wait for it to
give us a button
decide. Yeah. It can take up to a day, so don't be surprised if like it's 2 hours later and you go, I didn't get the firmware yet. It's like that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you should only be concerned if you're having issues, with your device, and if your AirPods aren't updating and you're having issues with them. But if you're not having issues, it's not really something to be like, oh no, how come I didn't get the firmware update yet? And
yeah.
So, um,
what was that voice, Roman?
that's my voice for somebody who's freaking out over
Somebody
their
who's
AirPods.
panicked
Over
about
their
their AirPods.
Yes, I'll put that on my character list. So, so I think a lot of people might be interested in installing these betas because of a lot of hype that's been attached to them. But I think people need to remember that the word beta, is kind of a big red flag. Beta means that you could run into problems with the software because the software is the software is always in development, but
Yeah,
more
that's a good way to
so,
put it. Yeah.
yeah.
It hasn't reached the level where Apple is ready to release it to the whole entire iPhone and iPad and Mac population.
It's going to have bugs. It's going to have performance problems. Notably, betas like this have they do more logging and tracking than the final releases do, so that they have logs and data about what's breaking to look at, and that has a performance impact sometimes. So there's more sort of profiling stuff going on in the background, and battery life is like every single time somebody's just like, my battery life stinks. Well, you're running the beta, like it gets better near release. it's like that. So get used to better. Yeah.
I never put a beta on a machine or a device that I need for work, just as a general rule, because, well, for one, there's work stuff that might not work, but there's also there are going to be times when I need that extra battery because I'm away, or I need something to work and it's crashing or something like that. And there's no guarantee that will or won't happen. But if it's a device you need it or depend on for more than just, like movie watching and hanging out on the couch, you should probably not install it.
Yeah, it's been a while since this happened, but I remember a couple of years ago, there was a beta that some car brands software, it was Kia or something like that, the Kia app didn't work properly with the beta.
Right,
they needed an update. It would crash every time you loaded it. And it's like, well, if that's your car key, now you've got to carry around your little RFID card or your remote or whatever you didn't used to have to carry around. Like, you should hope I'm locked out of my car or whatever. So
yeah, that's a good example, because Apple focuses on its own apps when it's developing these things, and there's a litany of third-party apps that also have to be updated, and not all of them. Well, none of them will be updated until the software is released. But sometimes things just don't work when while this beta is going on, and if that happens, you're kind of stuck, because it's not up to Apple to contact the developer to say, hey, your app isn't working right now. So the developer needs to be notified, the developer needs to do it, and the developer needs to, send out that update, which they might not do until September.
Right. Having said that, I run the betas usually on my regular main iPhone.
Well, you have
time because we're covering this stuff and we have to try it out. We have to live with them and use them. And this has been a remarkably solid beta for first public beta. The first developer beta was a little rough in terms of just the sort of stability and everything working. And it always is. But where we are now, which is developer beta 4, this is the first public beta. It's pretty solid. I got to say, it's not, I'm sure there's people out there running into issues with this or that, but I as betas go, I'm less worried about this one than a lot of times. I feel like it's,
as far as crashing and
and apps
perform
apps crashing
major
and stuff
performance
like
issues. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're still
agree.
tweaking things here and there and
Yeah,
stuff,
and
but,
there's a lot more to go probably on that, particularly with the liquid glass stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree with Jason. I have it on an iPad that I don't need, and yeah, it's pretty good. Like I haven't had any like noticeable issues beyond some stuttering or like the occasional Apple crash or something like that.
Yeah, I've been using Tahoe, and I haven't really had anything that made me go, "Whoa, what was that?" Kind
Yeah,
of nothing extraordinary. Um, and the few issues I did have made me wonder if it was actually Tahoe, if it was something else. So um, it hasn't been that bad at all. For anyone who's responding to, well, you guys get to, wow, you guys have multiple devices you can use. I only have
Yeah.
my one Mac and my one iPhone. Well, then that tells you right there you probably shouldn't be
yeah,
using the beta.
and that
Right.
a lot of people. That's most people don't
That's
have
most
spare
people.
devices. Yeah,
Right.
we're pretty lucky in the sense that we
Yeah.
have extra devices. But yeah, um, just as a general rule, and honestly, there's nothing really in iOS 26 or any of these. Maybe iPad, which we'll talk about later, but there's not a ton that you need to get right now. Like there's some cool stuff, and they all look a little bit different. But in previous years, like I think back to like the app library stuff. Like I really wanted to try that out because it was a feature that I wanted for
Yeah.
a lot of people wanted for a long time. There's not that much like life changing or like usability changing stuff here.
Yeah, liquid glass is
Yeah,
looks dramatically
looks
different
different,
and
right?
stuff. And it does change some apps. Some apps are more profoundly
Mhm.
changed than others, like the Photos app and the Camera app. But um, it's not like all of a sudden my phone can do all these things it couldn't do before. There are
Right.
some fun things here and there. The little how it makes 3D versions of your images of your photos and stuff like that. But yeah, there's not a lot where it's just like, oh wow. Like you said, the iPad's the exception. That windowing stuff on the iPad's a huge shift,
Yeah.
and changes entirely how you use everything.
Should we talk about, what things you like and dislike about the betas? Let me start by talking about the Tahoe beta. I don't know if you guys have been using it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to jump off on the negative, but the one thing I don't like the look of the new windows and stuff, like the new pops.
Okay.
I don't like.
You mean liquid glass or
Well,
beyond that?
see, what I equate liquid glass with the transparency,
Okay. Yeah.
and I don't know
Kind
if that's necessarily correct or not. The transparency doesn't bother me. It's like the overuse of curves to me, or
Right.
smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's all part of it. I think
Yeah, I think
liquid glass
it
is an
is.
umbrella term for this entire thing that includes transparency and refraction effects, but also all the curved edges and how things look like a blob of glass and whatever.
Yeah, like the transparency and other aspects kind of like that don't bother me as much as like the look of a pop-up menu.
Right.
It I, it just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing to me. And
So
I'll get used to it.
it's more like things are more rounded, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in some areas.
Yeah.
Finder has not only like more rounded corners and stuff, but parts of the left side menu have like boxes around them where they didn't before
Mhm.
to show that they're different kinds of lists. And I get why they
Mhm.
do that, to showing that these are different kinds of lists. These are your places, these are your whatever.
Yeah.
But it kind of, I'm not used to that, and it kind of makes it look less like a utilitarian thing and more like it's drawing attention to itself in some way that I don't want to do. This is my file manager. Just show me my files.
That's a good
Right.
point. It draws more attention to the design
Yeah.
when I'm used to not necessarily not paying attention to it, but it's just there, and
I don't want to have to pay attention to it.
Exactly, yeah. Like, one of the things I don't like is when, like, in certain settings, the switches and adjustment bars are so dim that it looks to me like
Mhm.
you know how some apps, when you can't access a setting, it's extremely dimmed.
Yeah, it's grayed
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
grayed out. To me, it looks kind of like that, and to me, it just sends. It's not sending a proper message uh, as to what you can access and what you can. Uh,
You can send just we haven't mentioned this, but the whole point of these betas
it's
are
true.
to point out things you don't like, things that are wrong, things that aren't working. And Apple has a feedback system on all of these devices where you can tell them, "Hey, this isn't cool, and here's why." And they do take that stuff into consideration. For example, Liquid Glass was very glassy the first version, and then they dialed it back, and then they kind of dialed it in the other direction, like they're obviously tweaking it. But I can't imagine that that's not a result of feedback because people are definitely talking about it and sharing examples and readability issues and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you are running these betas, really do use that feedback app,
Yeah.
because hopping on Twitter to say, God, I don't like this, doesn't get to Apple. Like,
no,
but the feedback app feeds directly into their systems where they're collating everybody's responses,
yeah,
and they're categorized by like which part of the OS, so it gets to the right team and all that other stuff. Like the feedback app is a very important thing to use, and they've done a lot to make it easy to use. They've
Mhm.
done a lot where if an app crashes, like you'll launch feedback and notice that like it's automatically about like an app crash report and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. So use the feedback app.
yeah. So that's my initial impression of Liquid Glass.
Well,
I
what
think I'll
about?
get used to it, but
Can I ask you? So the biggest feature is Spotlight. Like, what do
yeah.
you think? Is it? Do you use it more, or is it just like you have to remember to use it, and then when you do use it, it's more powerful?
So compared to my previous usage, I am using it more. But the thing is, because it's been highlighted as a feature, I'm more
Hmm.
conscious about using it
Okay.
more
Yeah.
instead of naturally using it more. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Sure.
you're
Yeah.
using
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
deliberately, using it more to test out all this new stuff,
Yes,
right?
yes. Um, and I like a lot of the features that they've implemented into it. So, but the question I keep asking myself, am I doing this because I know it's more robust, or am I doing it because I've been told to use it? Do you know? Does that? I
Hmm.
don't know if that even
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it does.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
there's a lot of features over the years that we'll use Stage Manager as a perfect example that was kind of presented as this new way to do something, and like the muscle memory just never took over.
yeah,
And like I don't use Spotlight very much at all. Sometimes I do, and I'm curious if once it's there for so clipboard history is the big one that I'll obviously absolutely use it for.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I wonder if I'll start like that keystroke will just become part of my workflow because it can do so much.
yeah,
My issue with it is that I use Spotlight constantly, but I
Okay.
almost use it exclusively as an app launcher.
Uh-huh.
I
So
just because it's
like
really
Launchpad.
quick for me to hit Command Space and then type the first couple letters
Yep.
of PHO, and then that's Photoshop. I hit enter and it goes right. Um, even stuff that's in my dock for some reason, like a lot of
Right.
times I just don't want to move my hand to the mouse. I'm busy typing
Okay.
and I just want to
Yep.
launch
Yep.
something.
Yep.
And it's taking me some time in Tahoe to retrain my brain that like, oh no, there's other stuff it can do that it's useful to do, and I just
Hmm.
haven't trained myself to do it. I think the actions stuff that it does, especially when you make a little shortcut for it, a little 2 or 3 character shortcut for it, could be awesome. But I'm not used to using my Mac that way, and I just gotta get used to it. And especially once it comes out and all the third-party apps integrate with that, and I can do that within third-party apps, like because it's really cool once you use it. It doesn't launch the app like visibly, like the app doesn't pop up and do a thing. It just kind of background does this thing in this app. I love that, but I need to get used to doing it more.
I
yeah.
mean,
That's
that's
go
the
ahead, Mike.
biggest issue with that's the biggest issue with the Mac is that we've been using it for so long. Like it could be the greatest feature in the world, but like we're just set in our ways, and it's not even that we're stubborn. It's just that we've been using these things for 20 years, and it's different with the iPhone because like something like Control Center only came out what less than 10 years ago, maybe about 10 years ago. So we were already using the iPhone for a while, but like with the touch and the thing like I feel like those changes are more likely to be incorporated into how you use it. Whereas the Mac, like I sit down at my Mac and I could close my eyes and I'm doing what I do because I'm just so comfortable with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason brings up a good point about the actions. Like, for instance, I keep trying to create calendar entries using Spotlight, but what happens is I go to create a calendar entry and it's second nature. I just go and launch calendar,
You
start
go
to
to
create
the
an
app,
entry.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and then I start, and as I'm creating the entry, I go, oh wait a minute, I could have done that in Spotlight, and then
Yeah.
yeah, because it's all second nature, and it's not that the way you used to do it is inefficient. There's just a new way to do it that
And I wonder, like, there's
want
a
to try.
whole army of like new Mac users. Like, are they going to like? Is Spotlight going to be like their go-to
Yeah,
tool? Because, like, I use it on the iPhone. I'll swipe down and I'll search for something like Jason does on the Mac for with apps. So maybe like it's setting it up for like this new generation of users and that new Mac that's coming out and things like that to make it a little more iPhone-like, a little friendlier, a little easier to find stuff. Apple doesn't care about us anymore.
What's interesting to me is that the actions stuff in Spotlight is it's sort of natural languagey. You could type create a calendar entry or whatever, and you get little boxes for the variables you can change to drop down that you can type into or you can click and open up. And looking at that, it's like this is the Siri system that they were trying to build.
Right.
It's just not hooked up to Siri. It's typing. But this is exactly what Siri is going to do when it does all the in-app actions with all the app intents and stuff like that. Just you're typing it into the box instead, and it's only on the Mac. And so I'm trying to get used to that in that idea of, well, if I was just speaking this, it was just saying, like you said, Roman, like create a calendar entry to do this, to go there, to do that, right? And just at this time and have it do those things. Which is not the best example because Siri already kind of handles calendar entries, but I just mean it integrates into a lot of apps, and what third-party apps are going to have hooks, and it's going to integrate into those too.
So that's just a quick impression of using macOS Tahoe.
I've been using iPad OS 26 on an iPad mini, and let me tell you, man, it is fantastic. Like beyond what I wanted from the iPad. You can go back and pull any number of podcasts and articles that we've written that says, hey, when is Apple going to really tap into the power of the iPad? Like we have these gorgeous pieces of hardware with amazing screens, but they're phones. You open an app, it's full screen. Maybe you can do split screen, but it's just not multitasking, and there's a lot of untapped potential. Like iPad OS 26 is like, it might as well be iPad OS 1 because it really opens up the iPad and all iPads. Like before with Stage Manager, which never really caught on anyway, but it was only for Apple Silicon and a couple of iPad Pros that were non-Apple Silicon. So iPad Air, iPad Pro, and that was it. The Mini most notably was left out of that.
Silicon, but yeah.
No, I mean like older models.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. The M. That's right, Jason. I meant the.
It was for M series.
The M series is that's of course they're all Apple Silicon.
And then a couple of the A series.
There was a couple of the 12Z or something, whatever it was, but mainly newer, very newer models, and not at all there were no iPad Mini models that got it. So the iPad Mini was stuck on the same slide over split screen multitasking, and this just completely changed. Like it feels like a little mini Mac. Like it's so cool to resize the windows, and you get the drop down menus, and liquid glass is cool. Like it completely changes the whole experience of using an iPad.
And you hook up a mouse, you
right.
a Bluetooth mouse. You just attach a Bluetooth mouse or sync a Bluetooth mouse, and now suddenly you've got a cursor, like a real cursor,
like a real cursor with like arrows and stuff. Yeah,
an arrow and like buttons you can click on, and like top menu. When you go up to the top, a little top menu drops down and stuff that has menus like file, edit, view, like the things, big boy stuff. Like it's great.
And you don't have to use it. Like if you like full screen apps, you can continue using it the exact same way as you did before. But if you want to dive into like real multitasking, it's just like literally like the iPad update in my dreams. Like I've wanted this for so long. Like we kept saying, like bring Mac multi-window stuff to the iPad, and they like this kind of like it's not quite the Mac, but it's close, and it's not quite. You know, it still preserves like the tablet experience. But man, it is so good. Like people are going to be blown away if they don't try the beta and they download it in September and they haven't really been paying attention to like what iPadOS 26 brings. Like all of a sudden you see like this little cursor carrot thing in the corner and you move it and it's like, whoa, like that window just resized. It's just fantastic.
And the Files app, you know, they made some changes that make it a little closer to Finder, you know, in terms of showing lists of stuff, but they also made it so that you can choose if you launch a file from Files, you can pick which app you want it to open in. You know, so if it's like an MP4, like, do I want to play this? Do I want to open it in that? Do I want to, you know, open it in GarageBand, whatever? Choose the default that way. And it was that stuff alone just totally changes how you can use your Mac. You can actually, I mean, your Mac, your iPad.
Yeah, right. Well, it is a Mac.
Yeah. You can start kind of being a files first thing instead of an apps first experience.
And again, only if you want to. Like if you want to keep opening stuff, and it could do it. You don't have to use any of this stuff. Background tasks, like you can run stuff in the background and then make more than just like videos and music.
I think the background task stuff is pretty limited, like to what can run in the background. There's a couple of types of things that can run in the background. So it's not a Mac, but it's getting closer, and it's like you said, it's no longer just a big iPhone, right?
Right. Yeah,
so,
it's
huge.
Just it's a whole new world, and it also opens up like future hardware. Like Apple can now design the iPad in a different way because it can do all this stuff. Like it's pretty remarkable of how big of a change it is.
It really makes those big old 12-inch iPads feel like they're worth more. Like,
and you know, the 17-inch one that we hear about every now and again, and the folding one that's supposed to become like all that stuff. Like it really makes sense now, like what Apple is planning. I wish they would have done it 5 years ago, but I'll take it now.
Maybe in a future podcast we could talk about whether iPadOS 26 will take away market share from the Mac, but that's a different discussion.
Maybe.
I wonder if this is going to really impact sale. Like after it comes out and it goes out, like, are people going to start buying more iPads? Is it really this usefulness going to increase sales in any meaningful way?
I mean, I think the iPad Pro, if you're a hardcore veteran Mac user, the iPad Pro is real attractive now. I mean, it's expensive. It's more expensive than some MacBook Pros. But like if you're looking at that Magic Keyboard and the 13-inch Pro with the OLED screen, and now it has all this windowing, like it's real attractive.
Yeah. You can spend a lot of money, but it's to get that, but it's nice. And you have all that, and then when you just pop it off your Magic Keyboard and want to go carry it around to play a game or watch a movie, it's just nice. It's not a MacBook. It's nice that it's not an attached keyboard.
Apple Pencil support and all that stuff. Like it's nice.
Well, I wrote an article recently about whether iPadOS 26 is going to cause the Mac to lose relevance. And I got a couple of angry emails. So,
what were they mad about?
Angry at me because I dare call
suggest such a thing.
Yes, how dare I suggest such a thing? And, you know, we won't get into that. Maybe in a different show we'll talk about that.
No, we should definitely get into those. That's next week's show.
So, anyways, What about iOS 26? What do you guys think about?
I've been using it since the beginning, the first dev beta, and yeah, the liquid glass thing. The transparency is the least. It's the part that's like, ooh, neat, but it's the least useful thing. Like seeing through your interface is bad.
Right.
Stop doing this, people. There's a reason Microsoft moved away from it after Vista and stuff like that. It's just not. It's a busy thing, and they always they're trying to find this level of like, how do we make it less busy and ruin the contrast, and you can still read text but still show the glass. It's like you're fighting with yourself. You're fighting with your own ideas.
Creating problems.
Then don't use those ideas.
But when you bring down that control center and it goes over the eye, it is so damn cool.
Right, for a second, and then you can't read any of the labels on your control center because your background image is thing, and then so they go, oh well, we'll just really blur the background image, like super blurry, and it's like, well, now what do I can't see my background image, like, but on the other hand, there are a lot of things about the way it behaves that I'm a fan of. Like I like that they're showing more of the app and putting things into a little floating menu that once you start to scroll, the menu, all your buttons and controls shrink down in a way. And so like all that stuff's great. Like give me that, but take away the stupid 3D bubbly transparency stuff. Like if it was that, but like the I hate to call it old style, but like the old style flatter interface that's just cleaner and you can read all your text without fighting with contrast and stuff. That would be a great interface. That would be super awesome. So I'm kind of torn. I'm of two minds about it. The glass part is the least good part of it.
It's the same on the iPad and similar on the Mac. I think it's more so on the iPad and iPhone because you're touching and you're moving things around so much. It seems to me, and we talked about this before, that Apple is kind of training our eyes for the day when everything is transparent because we're looking through glasses or goggles or whatever, and everything is kind of floating in front of us, and we have that. Like we can't blur life, you know what I mean? So like we have to get used to seeing what's in front and ignoring what's behind. So I understand it, but it is on a flat screen, but that's a couple of feet from your face. It's jarring.
Yeah, and you don't have that automatic depth perception. You're not literally focusing your eyes on something close to ignore something far away, which is what we do in real life. I can put my hand in front of me and it doesn't disturb me that there's things behind my hand because I'm literally focusing on my hand and everything else is out of focus.
The OS has to do that for you and Apple has to strike that balance.
The faking that, and it's just like a lot of wrestling with your own ideas, and I just don't like it in general. But I like the way it behaves, and I like a lot of the changes they made to a lot of the apps to make them. I for the first time in a long time, I don't feel like they've taken things. I don't feel like they've made the apps unnecessarily busy. They've made them simpler and cleaner, but I don't feel like they've taken away any features that are useful. They've just put them behind a logical menu in a sensible place. And so like those are all good things.
You wrote about the camera app actually today. That's probably the biggest change. If you want to just chat about that,
maybe the Photos app, yeah. The camera app,
the Photos app is going back to what it was.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's now you just kind of have at the bottom you have a little 2-menu thing for collections and then all your photos and stuff. But no, the camera app, it's going to feel familiar, right? You're going to look at it and you're going to like, this doesn't look like it used to look. But the type of image you're taking is they're all still there. It just says photo and video, but as soon as you tap and start dragging, it shows they're all there. It as soon as you select one, it kind of widens out for a little second to show you hints of the neighboring options so that you can see that this is a menu you can scroll. It's just moved to below the shutter from above. And it's only showing photo and video by default, so that it's just cleaner. It's not showing like a 5 or 6 words across the screen. You zoom the same way you always have. The little lower left is your recent shots, and the lower right's the flip the camera around thing. But they made it a little easier to get to stuff like turning the flash on and off, turning live photo on and off, turning on and off things like night mode, right? Like if it's dark enough for night mode, there'll be a little pop up in the little corner that shows that night mode's on, and that's, you just tap that, and it's where all your quick settings are. But you can re-tap the mode you're in and get all of those in a big pop-up with big fat buttons that are easy to hit while you're trying to take a picture. And then the upper left, they have all the formats, and that's new. You used to have to go into settings, camera, video formats, and then like to change frame rate. Like now they're all in a little menu in the upper thing. You can go 1080p, 4K, 60, 30 FPS, whatever you want to do, 24. They're there. You don't have to dive into the menu, so it's nice.
And the way those menus work, that's all like liquid glass and like what it can be. Like Apple describes it as like a new material, which we all kind of scoffed at and laughed at, but it does kind of feel that way in the sense that like iOS 7, it was flatter and you brought it had layers to it and stuff, and it was cool. But this feels like a different thing. Like they're using, I don't know, using our screens in a different way to kind of reimagine how things are presented and how things come alive when you touch them.
Right. The sort of glass transparency part of this is none of what I just described about the camera app is like, and it's got glassy stuff that you can see through when you drag your finger along. None of that impacts how you use it.
Exactly.
But it is a change in how all these buttons and information are presented to you, like where they are, what's showing and what's not. How do you get to a menu that shows you all of the modes for this? You're in photo mode. How do I get to the thing to adjust my aspect ratio, my exposure, all those other things? It's all in a sensible place that makes sense and is the same every time, right? And it's a pop-up and it hides away when you don't need it. And all that's all. It's a good design philosophy that they're going with.
Have you guys tried any of the other betas like watchOS beta or tvOS? Anything like that?
I'm using watchOS beta. Oh, I should mention iOS, my favorite feature. We were talking about like that. What do we like? I like the new phone stuff. The new I have used a couple of times. I've used the like thing where it detects when you're on hold. It hears hold music, and you can just hit the button, and it'll, when a person comes back on and starts talking, it shows it on the screen and it'll alert you, so you know to pick up. I've used that a couple of times. That's nice or whatever. But I use the call screening thing every time. And it's awesome because I've always had like silence unknown callers, but you miss stuff and everything. And I love the way that it just asks somebody why they're calling for me without my phone ringing. And I can see that if I need to, I can look at my phone and just see what it is. Yeah, I'm loving the call screening feature a lot. And it's helping me every day because I'm getting so many stupid spam calls. It's driving me nuts.
And the phone app on the iPad and Mac is an underrated feature because those are useful too, especially like you can make calls on those devices with FaceTime audio. And it's nice to see like all of your recent calls and your contacts and everything in one little place.
I haven't tried that on the Mac. I need to do that, but it has the real phone app. It's not just like FaceTime audio. Not just you can FaceTime take your and you could always make an iPhone a phone call through your iPhone from your Mac, but it wouldn't be the phone interface with all your calls and your voicemails and all that other kind of stuff there. And now that's there, so I'm gonna go check that out actually a little more than I am. So that's my favorite part about the iOS changes. I like the things with photos and stuff like that. I'm coming around on the stupid the clock changing size because I have my lock screen wallpaper set to change every time my phone locks, and it's a different picture, and the time changes size to fit like with whatever the background is. So it's changing all the time, and sometimes it's huge. And if you have an always on display, you look over at your phone and it's got a giant time, like it's huge.
It's super stretchy.
It's super stretchy. And so I feel like maybe on the always on display, they maybe shouldn't show the big giant stretched out time because you don't see the background. That would be my feedback there. But I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going anywhere because that's like on all of their marketing stuff. Like that's like prominent. Like
yeah, it should do that when it shows your background
and it's big and stuff. Yeah,
when it shows your background, when it shows your photo, but when the always on display is on,
I
it's
understand
black.
what you're saying. Yeah,
and it could not show that. That'd be good. That'd be fun.
I was kind of nervous about the hold feature on the calls. Like the other day, I was on hold with customer service, and I always wondered if there was like, I don't know if social engineering is the right word, but like the fact that you're putting them on hold, and when they answer, would they respond to the fact that they're being told to wait a second because
I hope so.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they get mad that they have to get put on hold after having me on hold for 30 minutes. Yeah, you have to wait 5 seconds for me to come back to my phone. That's fair. I'm fine with that.
Right. Yeah.
No.
So
I think they're going to start tricking it. I think they're going to start having hold music interrupt you with some voice, a recorded
Well, they do
voice.
that now too.
Right.
Like they'll say like, your call is important to us.
Right.
Right. I think they're going to start changing those up and having those be kind of variable. They'll be AI powered. Somebody will make a bunch of money on a service, hold service for people. But to trick phones into not doing this.
Into
not being on hold for you.
Yeah, because those services want to get rid of your call one way or another because they want to free up the queue. So
yeah.
But so you've been using watchOS 26 beta.
Yeah.
Is there anything spectacular about that, or I mean, it seems just kind of there.
I haven't.
Well, the workout buddy thing is I haven't. I swear to God, I cannot get myself to remember to use my Apple Watch every day. This is good.
Well,
this is for another show. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Like I when I have it on, I love it, and then I'll put it on my nightstand, and I'll forget to put it on, and it'll sit there for like no joke, like 2 months. Like I just don't wear it as much as I want to. Like I want to wear the damn thing, I just don't.
It has to become that automatic habit that's part of your get up routine.
And it's like I don't know why it hasn't.
I put my glass. I have my phone on a stand and my watch on it's like a watch phone stand thing.
Me too.
And I put my glasses right. I put my glasses right by
that too. They're right next to it. I pick up my phone. I pick up my glasses, and I leave my watch. It's literally all there.
So you need some sort of reminder.
I need an assistant to tell me, "Hey, you didn't put your watch on."
You need to tell Siri to remind you every day at 8 a.m. Put on your watch.
I still
and so that a little thing pops up. Yeah, because once you do it, if you did it, was it 14 days in a row? You do it forever. Like,
well, I did. I mean, I was wearing it for like a couple months, and then I stopped, and I put it on like 3 weeks ago, and it's been so long, like it wasn't even like properly paired with my phone anymore.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I had to like reset it. It's like, man.
So I've noticed in the workout app, scrolling through available workouts is different. They're like flat and take up the whole screen, and I feel like they need more hints to show people that there are other workouts to do because it used to be like a stack of cards,
right?
That stack of cards interface. And I can see how like that didn't show enough. I know why they changed it, but now it looks like you just have that one workout and you're like, oh, I didn't know I could scroll vertically or use my wheel to get to the other ones.
Right.
It's not as obvious as it needs to be.
Like a little arrow or something at the bottom.
A little arrow, or just like move it up make them all slightly less than one screen tall so that there's always a little of the next one showing. Something like that. They need a hint to show you that there are others. So there's that. The only new stuff that I've really experienced is one, the workout buddy. And I don't do the kind of cardio stuff where it's going to interrupt me often. Like I don't go for 10K runs and stuff like that. I usually just do strength training. So when I'm at the gym and I put all my stuff in my locker and I start up my playlist and I start up traditional strength training on my watch and I'm walking to the thing. All of a sudden a British voice will kick in and go like, great job on closing all your rings this week.
That's funny.
Get ready to kick off this traditional strength training. And it's incorporating some of my stats. And then it'll say something like, we're gonna kick it off with Green Day because that's like the song that's playing right now. I don't know that helps me at all. I'm kind of impressed by it because it incorporates a lot of like stats and data about like how much you've closed your rings, have you met your move goal, how many workouts have you done this week, all those kinds of things. I don't personally find it motivating, but I'm not the type to be that way. So I'm kind of impressed by it in a way. And I think people who do a lot of cardio stuff where it's going to kick in and tell you, hey, that was your fastest mile yet or whatever, that might be cool. But for me, it's just kind of a silly thing. I leave it on because I'm kind of amused by it. And it only does that one time at the start of my workout. I guess it might play something when I'm done, but I'm pulling my AirPods out by then anyway, so I don't care. So it's weird. It's a weird feature, but it's kind of impressive.
How's the liquid glass situation on Apple Watch?
You know what? I don't think, maybe it's just my watch face or something like that, but nothing looks different. Like the stack when you swipe up and you get your cards, there's just a little bit more of that sort of transparency to each of the little card tiles, but not much. Everything kind of looks the same. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if I use different watch faces, it would look different. The other thing that worked that was new was it will pop up in your suggested cards and stuff, like a change in your overnight vitals. I forget what they call that feature. Like you have, it's measuring your overnight heart rates and all that other stuff. And if there's something significantly different, it'll warn you. I'm going to quickly see if I can find what that's called because it's called something. It's got a different name. It's its own little tile and app and stuff. It's not mindfulness. It's one of these things. This is so entertaining, I know. Sleep, tides, translate, vitals. Oh, it's just called vitals. Yeah. So there's a vitals app and it's looking at that records your sort of overnight vitals and looks at trends and stuff. And we had a vet emergency a few days ago and we're up till 2 and didn't get any sleep and everything. And sure enough, the next day, for the first time ever, I saw the vitals app because I haven't been using it, but it popped up in the little suggestions and said, you got less sleep than usual last night. I'm like, sure did, buddy. Thanks. Thanks for letting
Apple
me
Watch.
know. Thanks, Apple Watch. But it does give you more excuse to wear your watch overnight, like wear it while you sleep, because it is going to track things like your heart rate and things like that. And if anything's wacky, it's going to warn you. So that did work.
I have a Series 4, so I don't think it even runs.
Oh, gosh.
It's old.
Time for a new Apple Watch, gentlemen.
It's like Series 4 that I never wear, so
well.
I wear it once in a while, but yeah. But unlike Mike, I don't care whether I wear it or not. I don't have a strong desire, so...
You do need a Series 6 or later to install watchOS 26 or a second-gen SE, which I think is basically a Series 6.
Not that I have anything against the Apple Watch. I'm just not a big watch wearer.
I know I am. I used to wear all sorts of stuff on my wrist, like bracelets and stuff. I don't wear that much anymore, but I'm not opposed to a watch. I like the Apple Watch. I like it's comfortable. I just don't wear it.
Yeah. Jason, you've tried tvOS 26?
No, I haven't. Okay. That's one of the, oddly enough, that is one of those things where it's like, don't run a beta on your critical thing. Because when that messes up and you can't watch TV, it's upsetting. Like you're sitting down with your family to watch a thing and it's screwed up.
Right.
And you're just like, hang on, let me restart it. Like nobody wants to hear that. And it affects everybody else. It's not just me and my stuff. So I tend to not run the betas on tvOS unless I have to because I'm for an article or something like that. It's because it's my whole TV.
But Dad, I just want to watch Field of Dreams. How come it's not right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, because that could get you in a sticky situation where like it's a different kind of anxiety because you're like, I just want to watch this.
Right. And it's just you expect that the TV is kind of an appliance you just expect to work without having to mess with stuff. So you're sitting down with dinner or lunch or whatever, and you're turn it on and you're getting ready, and the last thing you want to see is an update screen, or you have to wait, or the app you launched to watch this show crashed.
Yeah.
And then you just have to restart it. Why is this not working? It's like everybody's just like, I just put it on. I want to eat.
Right.
So yeah, I tend to not do that.
There's not all that
close.
much that's new anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a few UI changes, but I'll probably try something when it gets close to beta. I heard this was an interesting thing. You know how when your phone rings, if you're on a Mac that's got the same Apple ID, it pops up the notification. You can answer the phone on your Mac, right? That's an old thing that's been there forever. You can do that on Apple TV now, apparently.
You could do it with FaceTime before.
No, phone calls.
Or like transfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that's supposedly doing. But yeah, apparently you can do phone calls on Apple TV now.
Oh, right. We wrote a story about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing.
But isn't it just using the mic on your iPhone?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how is this different than just speakerphone on my iPhone? Like, what is it? Is it? I guess it's because it's gonna. It can then show things like the auto translate stuff. If you have that on, it would be on the screen,
right?
Or when you're on hold, and it's going to show when the person talking.
According to our article that I apparently forgot we wrote, it works with HomePod with the mics embedded in a connected HomePod. So you need to have a HomePod hooked up to it in order to answer or in order to speak. It's otherwise you'll be able to answer them, but you have to reach for your iPhone or grab your iPhone to talk.
Right, and then another that goes along with another change, which is you can now designate a HomePod or a pair of HomePods to just be permanent speakers for your Apple TV instead of having to go. That was such a pain. Nobody did it because you had to go up to the thing and switch the audio output to your AirPods and stuff like that. Now you can just be like, this pair of AirPod minis I have is for my TV always, all the time, and it's never going to have to be changed.
Yeah, that's important
for people who have that kind of stuff.
People who do that.
I wouldn't buy AirPods as permanent TV speakers. Like
HomePods.
I think that's like HomePods. Sorry,
I have a pair of what are they? HomePod minis as speakers for my Mac that I have on my desk, and they're good. I don't think I would use it considering they're not super cheap. Well, so minis aren't going to work for a TV. So you would have to buy 2 HomePods, which is like $700, and once you're paying that. You might as well just get a Sonos system or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a higher end sound bar.
Well, we have information on the XOS 26 betas on our website. Go to macworld.com. We also have links in our show notes if you want more information. That does it for this episode of the Macworld Podcast, episode 944. Thanks to Jason Cross.
Thank you.
Thanks to Michael Simon.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks to you, the audience. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to the Macworld Podcast in the podcast app, on Spotify, on YouTube at the Macworld Podcast channel, or through any other podcast app. Do you have any comments or questions? Contact us through Blue Sky, Facebook, or Threads. Just search for Macworld and look for the Blue Mouse logo. Join us in the next episode of the Macworld Podcast as we talk about the latest in the world of Apple. See you next time.
And go
Speaking
see
of
that.
double feature, when I saw Naked Gun, the original Naked Gun, that was a double feature with, I think, Field of Dreams with my dad. So it was a really weird juxtaposition.
That's some movie whiplash there. Wait, which one was first?
I think Naked Gun was first. I remember the funny one being first. Like, I was young enough where neither, like, I didn't get many of the jokes, and
that's true.
Field of Dreams wasn't quite as poignant as it is now. But
when do they play baseball?
But both good movies. I saw Ghostbusters and Indiana Jones: Temple of Doom. That was the greatest double feature of my young adult life ever.
Yeah.
Wow. Temple of Doom was the first that was one of the first PG-13 movies. I think it was like the second PG-13 movie, and the first one was like a little no-name thing nobody had heard of. So it was the first like major movie that was PG-13, and my parents took that real serious because I was 11 or 12 or something, and they were, or maybe 10, I don't remember, and I could see PG movies. But PG-13, they were just like, and this was a new thing, and it was in the news that there would be this thing and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were like, she made my dad go see it first, and then to report like, is this okay? And then, and he thought it would be fine. They do rip a guy's heart out.
Yeah, it was pretty scary at times. They eat eyeballs and stuff.
But he thought, it's not like. It's almost cheesy, like, and he thought I'd be able to handle it fine, but my mom said no, so I never got to see Temple of Doom in the theaters. I saw it when it came on like HBO. That's when movies would come on HBO like 2 years later.
Like it was a big deal. Like you were like, oh, Saturday night is whatever movie's coming out, because not everyone had a VCR, and like to buy videotapes were super expensive.
Yeah.
It stood for home box office. That's what it was about.
Right.
and it was their original shows weren't the draw. It was that it would be
top tier movies,
top tier movies. And so I think that's when I first saw Temple of Doom, and it loses a lot on the small screen.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't remember seeing Temple of Doom. So yeah. All right.
We recently had a rewatch party before
the new one.
Was when the game had come out and we were talking about it. My wife said I don't think I saw this, or I don't think I saw that, and I was like, you didn't see this, like how did you not? But she also doesn't remember. She'll see a movie and think she didn't see it, and then we're watching it and she goes, oh, I've seen it,
Yeah.
So she thought maybe it was that. So we watched the first. I think we watched 4. I think we watched Crystal Skull too. But the first 3 are good.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom has huge problems with Spielberg's wife being awful, but the rest of the movie is fine.
Yeah.
Like Short Round almost makes up for it, but
yeah. I saw Field of Dreams about a month ago. It's funny how where you are in life changes your perspective. Yeah. So I remember seeing Field of Dreams thinking, oh, that was a really good movie. And then like years later seeing it again going, oh, this movie is really hokey. And then I saw it a month ago and I was like, wow, this movie's really good. It's very poignant, but it's really good. And when James Earl Jones makes the speech about baseball, I was like, oh yeah, baseball.
I saw that movie and my son was like 10, and he was just becoming good at baseball, and it was like becoming an important part of his life. And I was like, this is such a nice movie.
It's a middle-aged dad's movie. It really is.
It totally is.